Hey guys, welcome back to Easeldoesitstudio. So today you can see I have got my Dragon Mold book cover out again, but we're going to do something different. So what I want to do is, I've got 8 ounces of resin all mixed. I've got it in the debubbler right now. It's the Let's Resin 4-Hour Fast Cure. I just want a skim layer on the bottom. And then we're going to put this film in, and we're going to let that cure, and then we're going to back it with a darker color. So first of all, I got my eye, and as soon as I had got my other eye in, I realized I had it going in the wrong direction on the other book. But, you know, it's fine. So my granddaughter pointed, she goes, Meme, I said, I know, I put the eye in wrong, right? She's like, yeah. So the dragon eyes go up and down. So again, these eyes are too big, and I think these are the 10 millimeters, I think. So basically, we want the eye to go like this. So I'm going to do the same thing like I had done before. I'm just going to put it in this little spot. I'm going to leave a little bit extra, so when I push this down, that I can you know, get that into place. Let me just move some of my film here, because I need my light to go like this. Because I want it to cure, you know, from underneath too. All right, so I guess we're gonna do it like that. And there's a little bit of that fantasy film that, okay, I was able to pick it off. So we're gonna put it on there. And I've just got the Let's Resin UV high viscosity. It's a little bit thicker. And I'm just gonna put enough to cover it, but not overdo it. And then we're gonna try to get it spread, because you want to make sure that there is UV resin completely around your eye, because if not, whatever dark color that we pour is going to get up underneath there, and it ain't going to look good. All right. So that is looking good. I'm not seeing any bubbles, but we're going to take the long neck lighter just to be sure, and I'm just going to go over that quickly, because you don't want to do too much. And then we have our eye. Now I don't know if this is going to work, because that first layer is going to be clear, so I am going to try to center it a little differently, because the first layer is going to be clear, and I'm just now thinking of that. So who knows, this could be a disaster. I mean, if it is, I suppose we could always like just paint like a color in around the eye to make it dark, and then the rest would be that holographic-y. I don't know. We're going to find out. So, while that's curing, I do want to cut this. I'm going to put one color on the top and one color on the bottom. So basically, I just kind of held it like that, took my scissors, and I did that. And then I cut this in half this way. And then I'm gonna cut little slits in this side after. All right, so we have our 2 halves done. All right, so we've got that one and that one. And on these, on this one here, you can see, I did, or did I cut it on this? Oh, I cut it on the big piece. So I put the big piece here, and then I'm gonna put the 2 little pieces there. So we might as well do the same on this one. So basically, so the reason that I'm doing it this way is so that I can get where like these little tabs are, and so I'm just making like little slits. Let me see if I can spin this around. Then I can do this better. So I'm just cutting like 2 little strips. So we can get that to go up around. Oh. Okay. So that is kind of looking good. It might not show, guys, hopefully. All right, so let's flip our book back around. Let me grab my resin. I'm gonna take all these extras out of the way. So, and again, not all the bubbles came out, so I'm definitely gonna need my heat gun and the lighter, because look at how bubble these are. And that was 8 minutes. So, eesh. Oh. And that's why I don't use fast cure, because I can never get all of my bubbles out. But we're just gonna, and I just, like I said, I want a thin layer, just enough where we can get our film to stay down. These each take 8 ounces, so I figured 4 ounces for the first layer would be good. All right, let me, so I do want to make sure that I get it, you know, as much to the edges as I can, because I'm probably going to back coat this in either a black or maybe a some dark color. I haven't decided if I'm going black or not. Like, there's a little piece of that film, I'm not going to worry about it because it's just going to blend in with the other film. It's just going to give it another extra little something something. So I'm definitely going to have to try something to get some of these bubbles out. And I do want to make sure this layer kind of encompasses the eye, especially where I know, like this is a little low there, and that is kind of good. Maybe it will hide that eye. So I do want to run my long neck lighter over, but I want to make sure that the mold itself is covered. You know, I want just enough to, like, a thin layer over the mold itself so that I'm not burning the mold, but leaving enough of a layer that we can put another color. So I'll try with my long neck lighter first, and then we can take the heat gun. And now I don't even know if I'm going to the art walk on Friday, because I just found out there's going to be no parking. Because there's major construction. They're doing an apartment building across from the park that we set up in. And there's no parking on either side of the street. And I have so much stuff and so many paintings that trying to drag it, you know, up and down different streets is just not my idea of fun at all. And I don't want my trailer parked where I can't see it, because there's, you know, there's a bunch of I don't know, I you know, like people walking around that are not the most trustworthy. I'll just put it that way. All right, so we do still have a few little areas showing through, but all right, so let me get the other side started, and then I can kind of adjust from there. Because I did make 8 ounces. You know, because I knew some of like these little divots in here. And the back doesn't take as much as the front, so I just want to make sure that I leave enough of a layer for a back coat. So I'm going to start posting a lot of stuff on my website, because if I don't start selling some of my stuff, I'm probably going to have to stop, because I have no room to put stuff. You know, and it will give me the money to put back into my channel. So we're gonna, next week, my daughter's coming over. She's better at taking pictures than I am. So we're gonna go through the trailer. I'm gonna pull out my better pieces, and we're gonna start getting my website going. It will only be shipping to the US for right now, though, unfortunately, just because I'm not sure how all this tariff stuff works and all that. So, and I don't have the money to pay the tariff. So, yeah. All right, so I've got some bigger bubbles in this one. Just trying to work those out. This one is definitely more covered. Than the front cover. So I think this is going to be good for the back. And the other reason I'm using the thicker resin is so I could get my film in while this layer cures. Okay, so that's looking good. Let me get some more in this. Because I definitely don't want to burn my mold with my long neck lighter. And then I'm thinking it will probably only take like 2 ounces to back coat it. Because again, I want that to be a thin, a thin back coat layer, so. And if I mix up too much on the, the back layer, we'll just do an extra, that's all. So the eye is completely filled around it, so we might end up seeing all right, so I have got a little bit left here. Wipe my, and get all my drips. All right, I'm gonna give that a minute before I decide to torch. So maybe what I'll do is I will just start with the heat gun and try to get out as many bubbles as I can. I'm gonna put it on high. And I'm hoping, because of the look, if there are a few, like little bubbles in there, micro bubbles, that it won't show. But I don't know. So I'm going to try to get most of them out. And this will help thin down some of this too. So hopefully by going like kind of back and forth, it will remove those bubbles and bring them to the surface, so then they'll pop. So as that resin gets thinner, I can actually see some of those bubbles like popping. So I definitely will have to add a little bit more in this one. It is kind of separating. And a little bit over here, but I'm going to try to get out as many of these bubbles as I can. And then hope when I put that iridescent paper in, that film, that I don't, that I don't get a ton more. All right, so I'm just gonna try and get these ones off the bottom, bring them to the surface so that when I run my long neck lighter over them, they will kind of be up at the top. Go around my edges. So yeah, this could be a disaster. So I'm just trying to coat everything so then I can kind of go over it with my lighter. And I do know there'll probably be some in there, but if I can get a bunch of them out, that will make me happier. All right, so let's kind of go over this, and then I'll stir up the bubbles and do it again. Definitely looks better than it did. I will give it that. Let's see. There's a big bubble right around the eye. There we go. looking, except for I stuck the end of my lighter in there. All right, so we do need to add a touch more. Because I want that film to be, you know, have resin underneath it. I don't want that to be what shows, so. Around the edges, I'm not as concerned because I think once I put the film in, it will, you know, finish pushing that out. There'll be a little bit of weight there that will kind of help it. Time. So yeah, I have more paper coming. Should be here Friday, so. I'm just working those new bubbles out. Trying to get them to come to the surface. Okay. All right, so that is looking like it's not going to pull away anymore. So let's do one more, because I know I'm not going to get all of them out. So yeah, if I did this again, I will probably use a thinner resin. But, you know, hopefully they won't show. Hopefully. You can see a few big ones in here, so I do want to try to get them ones out. This one's looking good. All right. Oh, I didn't want to do that. All right, one more time, and then we're going to spray with alcohol, and we will get our film in. I'll try to. I need to get a different lighter. These things, like, you really need muscles. And this is one of what they call an easy light. Ooh. Okay. I guess we're just going to go with it. All right, so I wanted the blue on this side. So we are going to lay that down in there. So with these films, you can actually like, you know, heat them, but this already has the scales on it, so I wasn't too worried about, you know, I do want it to go that way a little bit more. And I can see a big old bubble right there. All right, let me, oh, this is gonna get messy. Get out. Okay. All right, hang on. I did want to spray it with alcohol anyhow first, and I forgot. So let's try doing it now. Oh, I'm going to be so messy. All right. Yay, I got it out. All right. And yeah, that's how I should have done the first one. Bubble right there. And there's a bubble there. But, you know, it is what it is. All right. So we've got a little bubble there. I'm wondering if I could poke it somehow. Because that one's right by the eye now, and I do not want that there. All right, so it's not gonna go right up to the edge, and I guess I'm gonna be okay with that. I was like, oh, this will make a nice short little video. Yeah, I forgot how many dang bubbles get trapped underneath. All right, so let me move this. And I guess I'm not going to worry too much about so I'm just going to slide that away from there, and hopefully it will still come out okay. And this is the back, so all right, so there's a few. Oh, okay. Oh, so if we can just do that, except for that big area right there. Get some of them bubbles out. Because this is getting really thick now. Come on. I can deal with the little ones. It's just the bigger, like the ginormous bubbles like that one. Just going to lift this up again. And we're going to put this back down. Oh my gosh. I didn't give it a thought for these little spots in there. All right. I guess we're gonna go with that. And, oh, because I am so sticky. Sticky, sticky. This one's got some ginormous ones. What the heck? I'm just really trying to like push down and get those bubbles to move and get my film back over where I want it. All right, so that's looking a little better. I just had to get aggressive, I guess. So hopefully it's still gonna leave us our room for a back coat. Even if it's thin, there we go. So the front's looking really good. I've got a few bubbles in here, but let's see. And I have just a smidgen of this left. So just enough to kind of make sure that the film stays put. So there is enough resin over the top. Got no edges sticking up. Okay. Well, now we're gonna let that sit for, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours. I'll come and check it. And once it's, you know, really tacky, to the point that, you know, my color isn't gonna run underneath, then I'll come back, we'll mix up the back coat and get this back coated, and we'll go from there. Alrighty, guys, I will see you on the next step. Okay, guys, so it's been 2.5 hours, and it's just kind of leaves a dent. So I have got 6 ounces of the Let's Resin pre-mixed black epoxy resin mixed up. So hopefully we will have enough of, you know, this color, the black. If not, I can always make up a little bit more, but I just figured I would jump on here and show you where I'm at consistency wise. So this is not the fast curing, so this will, you know, have to sit overnight, or I could put it on my heat mat, but you know, it's after supper, so yeah, I think I'll just leave it and we'll demold it in the morning. I hope it comes out good. I've been wanting to try this, I think it's called like fantasy film or something like that. So, all right, so this is just about done. Okay, let me grab a small stick. Oh, and I got a hair. Get that off. I don't want that in my resin. So, yeah, we've gone from 80s to 50s, guys. So, as you can see, I now have a sweatshirt on because it has cooled down tremendously. It's supposed to get down in the 30s tonight. So, we will probably be putting the wood stove on, at least doing one fire tonight. Not a big one, but enough to, you know, keep the temperature comfortable in the house. All right, I'm just gonna spray this, give this a little wipe off. And then we are going to pour. Okay. And I did notice we have a little pullback right here in the corner. I don't know if you can see that or not, but and I didn't bother to run this through the debubbler because it's going to be such a thin layer, hopefully. As I stick my cup in the other one. All right, I'm just gonna let that spread around, and let's get this poured. So luckily, at least that little spot is on the back cover. And I didn't wipe my tool off. Now it's all sticky. I'm gonna give it a good spray, give that a good spray. And I'm gonna try and get this cleaned. Oh, I hate it when I do this. All right. My goodness. Because even though this is silicone, it's still, you either have to let it completely harden and peel it off, or it's tough coming off. All right, so, because I don't want to, you know, like overfill too much, but I do want it covered. Because I think when I did this the first time, the front cover took 8 ounces and the back cover took 6, if I can remember correctly. So because I did the 8 ounces first, I figured I would be safe with 6 for the second layer. And I'm just hoping and praying that I was correct. And we do have a little bit of the film sticking up here. And I need, okay, so let me take this. Okay. Now I'm just gonna try and keep it so I don't have a ton of trimming to do. Looks like I'm gonna have some there. All right, so we're gonna end up having to cut that off after, which shouldn't be a big deal. All right, and I'm not even gonna bother to scrape my cup. There's really, got a hair right here. Get that out. Give that a good spray. right. Oh my gosh, guys, fingers crossed. So I'm definitely gonna have some cleanup on the cover here. I mean, because I had some overpour and all right, I guess I can put a little bit more in there. I do want, you know, this one domed as much as I can. All right, guys, that is it. And I will be back on demold. Keep your fingers crossed that this comes out all right. I haven't done this technique in so long that, and I don't want to overspray, but I do. That looks good. This we will have to clean. We'll trim that after, not a big deal. And it looks like our resin was a little high right there, but that's okay. Alrighty, I will be back when this is done, guys. Okay, guys, it is now time for the reveal. Oh, what the heck? I already got something on my finger. I just sat down here. There's still something sticky somewhere. Oh, my goodness. All right, we'll get them out and then we will do the reveal. So like I said, I'm gonna have a little bit of cleanup, but set that over there. Let me get my deburring tool. And all right, where's my nippers? Oh my goodness. They're in with my jewelry stuff. Oops. If I can get the bulk of this off first. All right. Oh, I can see that line. I don't like that. But I like the effect. Oh my. I had a lot of overage on this one. But I got to get it off so we can see the actual, what it is going to look like. And then I'll go and do the, I'll just run my Dremel along the edge to make sure that's nice and smooth. All right, so I'm not liking that we can see that line in there. There we go. But, and there are a couple of bubbles. Not what I wanted. So I would have been better off to cut all the pieces. Oh. Okay. So that's exactly what I was afraid of, that this part was going to show. But overall, I like, you know, I like the effect. This front one is, maybe because it has more texture. I mean, how do I fix this? That is the $1,000,000 question. So I think, do I do it? I'm going to do it in black because that's going to be a contrast, I believe. All right, let me just, I'll set that one aside for a second. And if I don't like this, I can always wash it off. I have got to disguise where that eye is too big. Yeah. And then we'll just do the bottom of the eye as well. Just trying to go around. And this, it kind of shoots out. was thinking all night, how am I going to fix that if you can see it? And this was what I had come up with. There. I think that looks way better. Way better. Okay, like I said, I don't have the paper yet, but it will be here Friday. So at least the front came out really good, so I can deal with the line in the back, I guess. There we go. So, I like it. I like it. All right, so that's going to go this way. Let's open our little tabs here. Oh. We did get one little bubble there, but that's okay. It's minute. And we'll just put the top one on. Click them, and then when my paper comes in, I can just open that up and put the paper. But this is our little journal book. I think it came out really cool. Minus all my fingerprints on the inside. It's the only thing when you have something that's really shiny like this black, it shows every little fingerprint. All right. And I'm not going to, I'm going to put that in there so I can leave the book closed, but I don't have to worry about it sticking together. There we go. So yeah, that's our project for today. I think it came out really good. I just wish I didn't see that line right there, but I mean, there's no, and I managed to get the major bubbles out. I mean, you can see there's still one bubble there. There's a few like micro bubbles in there, but just to look at it, you would not, you know, you wouldn't even notice that that's there. So yeah, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are, and how I should try this another time. I really like making these stupid things. I really do. I don't know why, but I do. Alrighty, guys. Have a great day, and I will see you on the next one.